Should I sell fewer high-ticket packages or focus on creating an affordable product for a broader audience? Today, we're going to answer a lot of questions within marketing, offers, content creation, sales.
Exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
So we'll start with this. The first question here: should I focus on growing my Instagram following or building an email list for direct communication?
Depending on where you're at in your business, email list is very, very good to have when we're doing direct communications. We can still consider sending emails like a one-on-one interaction, even though you can send emails to a lot of people at the same time. Now, the problem is building an email list, it takes a long time. And in order to be able to leverage an email list, you also have to build a relationship with them, and you need to be further along in your business. So build an email list. Is it valuable to have an email list? 100%. 9 times out of 10 though, and for 99 out of 100 coaches, going to social media is hands down way smarter to get results faster.
Way.
Yeah.
So if we just close that part of it, it's not either or, it's both and. So you primarily use your socials, but have a funnel or system where you start building up your email list.
So you want to take in emails from the beginning, but you don't want to depend on your email list in the beginning of your business. You need to build your social channels. And very shortly about that, when it comes to the different social media tools, if you don't already have an Instagram that is kind of currently growing, then I would say that Facebook is way easier than Instagram, because it's way easier for you to control the narrative on Facebook of how your content is viewed in the beginning. You can never say that this is awesome and this sucks. So Instagram has its pros when it comes to starting and running your business, but it's easier to grow Facebook connections than it is on Instagram. The reason why is, in order for you to be viewed by other people on Instagram, you need them to follow you. And on Facebook, it's literally that where you can control that narrative with sending a friend request with someone that you find interesting that you want to connect to. So like pros and cons everywhere. And
you can do a following on Instagram. So
yeah, but just because you follow someone on Instagram doesn't mean that that person is going to see your content. And that's the biggest thing. But if you're friends on Facebook, you can actually control if they see your content or not.
I would say it depends. Choose the platform where your audience is and be patient in building up. If you believe Instagram is the platform you like and the one you use the most, we use Instagram for our business as well. It takes some time to grow up, but absolutely, again, we need to start somewhere. If you're completely starting from scratch, maybe Facebook will give you some advantages at a very early stage. But once you start building up, Instagram works really well, and you build up your email list at the same time simultaneously. Then we have a question about offers. If it is better to offer personalized coaching or scale with group programs.
And when you say personalized coaching, are we talking like one-on-one calls?
Yeah.
This or that. It depends. Again, it depends on where you're at in your business. Now, if you don't have any clients, a one-on-one is like, it's a super good option, because you can tailor fit the experience while figuring out what does my avatar need to go through in order to gain the results, so that you can literally build your group program. Once you've had a couple of one-on-ones through the process, you'll see the common denominators of what they need in order to get the result. And I also want to say that no one should be scared about starting with one-on-ones, because converting or like transitioning into a group program is so easy.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of starting with one-on-one. If you've been on stage before, if you are used to facilitate an audience, I mean, you absolutely don't need to start with one-on-one either. But if you're building a group program, the most important thing to understand is that if you build the program before you get any clients, you're doing it the wrong way, because you can't foresee what will the vast majority need in order to go through your program. You need to build it with them. And if you are starting a group program that doesn't already have proof of concept, I would say that the best thing that you can do is sell the group program and then give bonus one-on-one session during their participation, so that you can figure out how to create kind of the highway from start to finish. How do I breed client results the fastest way?
Like the experience we have with our clients, we've been working with a lot of clients who started out with one-on-ones, and they have kind of a problem when they get about somewhere between 10 and 20. I know that's a big span, but it depends on how often you see your clients, but that is the maximum you can take. So it's rather asking yourself, what kind of business do you want? What is the revenue you would like to have? Because group programs is scalable. You can have how many clients you want and build up your revenue with group programs. If you want to work less, make more money, group programs is absolutely great, but don't stress to get there too fast, that if you're just starting up.
Yeah, and I like that. If you want to make it steady 10K per month, you could do that with one-on-ones. But then I would say that you would have about 15 clients in 15 meetings a week, rotating on a 3-month schedule. If you're okay with having 15 one-on-one clients, you can make a steady 10K a month. If you want to grow past that, you want to transition into group programs.
Now we have a content creation question here about video content versus written content. Should I focus on creating reels and videos, or should I stick to blogs or captions and more like the written resources, written content? It depends on the platform you use, and it depends on kind of also where you are in the business. So first of all, what platform you use. Like doing written content on TikTok sucks. It's not going to have the same with YouTube. Doesn't really work. Instagram like reels a lot. And for all platforms that provides different kind of content, the platform in itself will reward you for utilizing different types of content. So you can say short form content works really well on Instagram, but also captions, because it allows both of them and it will support both of them. So a good mix is probably the right answer.
Yeah, that's where I was going, because if you only do written content, what's going to happen is that they are not going to get the sense of your personality. It's so much easier selling who you are when using your voice, and even easier when you show your face as well.
Good point.
Because it's so much easier to get to know someone if we can see who they are and how they speak and tonality and appearance and tone of voice and all that. But at the same time, there is only so much that you can do in video that you can't do with written content. I mean, we made our first 5 million euros based on Facebook alone. And what you can do on Facebook that is super, super good is write good quality content where you can be sharp and write short written content with a good picture that I believe would be a lot better written than it would be in a video.
And then again, there's another thing. It kind of depends on how well you get through on a video. So it also, like, are you flat out boring? Maybe video is not your best thing.
So I'm going to say this. If you're flat out boring, be funnier. Because like literally, you can't stay consistent with your behavior. If you want to influence people, like you grow into a personality that will attract the people that you want. And it's not about faking it, or it's not about being someone you're not. But there is so much more in every human being than a version of themselves.
Absolutely.
Because we are 15 different versions of ourselves when we're with different people in different environments. So just pick that person that is enjoyable, and it's a skill.
So I think the most important thing here is like literally picture in front of you that is your best friends, and talk to friends, and make sure that you are just being consistent doing stuff. Organic reach or paid ads? Should I focus on building my audience organically or invest in paid advertisement for a faster growth?
For me, this one is really simple. Organic is for establishing and growing your business, and you use ads to scale.
Yeah.
And period. Like there is not much more to say about that. And if you have zero revenue, there is nothing to scale, because 0 times a million is still 0. So make sure that you have a foundation that's something to scale. You learn what you need to learn with organic. And then when you have something that you have proof of concept that works in your marketing, well, then you can consider doing ads. And usually that's when we are somewhere between 15 and 20,000 euros in revenue monthly.
Yeah. And then you start scaling what already works. You start scaling that, but start paying ads before you got a funnel that works and a message that works. You're going to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, and you're more likely to go bankrupt than grow your business.
Yeah.
It's statistics. Easy.
So we have another thing about marketing here. One platform versus omni-channel marketing. Should I master one platform, as an example of Instagram, or should I spread across multiple platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere?
Yeah, very easy to answer. So I'm going to give you a sport metaphor. Do you want to be a professional in all sports, or are you going to focus on one? All the biggest athletes, they excel in one sport because the dedication and attention that needs to that sport in order to become the best in the world needs that. Now, when it comes to marketing, you don't need to be the best in the world or the biggest person on Facebook, but you definitely need to grow your Facebook and your following and your audience. And if you're trying to do that omni-channel, like across platforms, what happens is that you're going to divide your attention. And what's going to happen when you divide your attention is that you're going to be less efficient. When you're less efficient, you're going to grow it slower, and you're going to lose a lot of time.
In the beginning, I completely agree. Master one platform, become really good at that. But when you reach 30, 40K a month, you need to be omnichannel. You cannot just do one thing and one thing only. Because you want to continue growing, and you need to be in different platforms. At that point, you want people to see you no matter where they go. When you're at that stage, you're not alone anymore. If you're alone in your business in the beginning, which all of us are, it's like a one-person business, at least to the first 10K for most people. Spend your time wisely. Spend it on becoming good at one platform. But once you start growing, you get a team, which means when you're omnichannel, it is not you. It's your team. So you reuse content. It could be like you have a training with your clients, and that is being cut up, reused for different content types and on different platforms in different ways. And that will be the team producing, because it's time consuming. So at some point you want to move.
Absolutely.
But you don't do it on your own. It's a teamwork.
I 100% agreed. So I got stuck for a second in that, like in the low tier when we're starting out, but definitely. So start somewhere and then grow into different places while your team grows. 100% agree.
Then we have high ticket offers versus low ticket offers. Should I sell fewer high ticket packages, or focus on creating an affordable product for a broader audience? Now, first of all, I think in order to even have that dialogue, we need to understand what is low ticket, what is high ticket, what does that mean?
Yeah, so low ticket is a lower price ticket to join your program, and a high ticket is a higher price ticket. I know that there are a lot of people who pitches that low ticket are like the 49 euros things. Like that's next to free stuff. That's not a program, that's marketing. You do not sell a program, even if it's a membership thing. It's a marketing thing, because you're not going to make money on those next to free stuff. So low ticket is all the way, depending a little bit on your niche and the space where you work. I would say that everything up to 5,000 euros is low ticket. Then we have mid ticket between 5 and 12, and then high ticket above 12, 25, 15, and then we have ultra high ticket that is like 40K for a program.
So depending on who you ask, everyone will define it different. So this is how we define it.
When we're deep diving into the statistics, and the coaches who get best clients results is where they have a price where it's significant enough for the clients to actually give a damn or to make an effort in the program. So if you're going for that price range that is 800 euros, person investing 1,000 euros in coaching are just as likely to pay 2,500. And
people who pay 49, it's not going to commit the same way they will do as if they pay 2,000.
No, absolutely not. Not even if they pay 49 a month. So we want to have something where we have a program that changes their lives, and that in order for them to be able to do that, they need to commit, because everyone can change their life, but you need an incentive to do so. You need to be invested in making that happen. And that is why Google doesn't work. Because you can Google yourself to any answer. Like, of course, there is recipes and full strategies. And when you Google yourself to an answer, you're going to find 100 different ways of getting to whatever you want. And when you do that, it doesn't work because it's like all over the place. Theoretically, you could still Google yourself to anything. Like you could Google yourself to how to build a space rocket or a spaceship. But people don't do that because there is nothing on the line.
So we're back on. It depends on what business you like to have. If you want to have a lot of clients paying less, meaning you have to work with a lot of different people, you'll have a lot of admin, then you can absolutely sell for a lower ticket. But if you really want to do like 7 figures, you need to add high ticket. If you want to get multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, you probably need to get to high ticket. And I think falsely, a lot of people believe it's easier to sell low ticket than high ticket, but it is not. It's just different. It's absolutely both easier to deliver and as easy, at least, to sell what we call low ticket. So it's not either or. We see it more as a funnel, a client journey, because what you do in a low ticket is that you probably solve the first problem your clients have, and in your high ticket is for diving into a deeper level of that skill set or growing from that point and working for a longer time, even more committed. It's another commitment. So both of them are really good. It's not either or, but most coaches start with low ticket, then add high ticket on top of that if they want to become like a multiple 6-figure coaches or 7-figure coaches.
Yeah, and if you don't have a brand, if you don't have any client results, testimonials, proof of concept stuff that speaks for you, it's going to be very hard to sell something that is like 10K or above to begin with, because it takes a personality and a person to do so. So an ascension is the best thing. Sell a low ticket thing and then build trust, show what it is that you have and show what it is that you are really, really good at, so that they can realize that, oh, if I spend more time, it's going to be great. And then you upsell them.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to grow a coaching business or scale a coaching business, I would say.
Then we have another question here on content creation. Content creation versus outsourcing. Should I create all my content myself or hire a virtual assistant or graphic designer to help me to create the content?
Yeah, or even worse, an agency to outsource everything. So whenever you own a skill, you can give it away. You can always give what you have, but you can't give what you don't have. So if you are outsourcing your content creation before you've mastered your own content creation, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because your business is then becoming dependent on someone else, and it just doesn't work that way. And it's not that hard to become good. It just takes some dedication and consistency, and you'll be able to grow your content creation skill.
Yeah. So of course you should work towards being able to outsource things, because as an owner, that is not where you should spend the most of your time. However, your content needs to sound like you. It's your marketing, it's who you are, what you stand for, and all of that. And that is really hard to give away until you understand it and master it on your own. And once you do that, you can definitely give it away, but you need to make sure it's like in your tone of voice and all of that. So when we're recording these, like we're doing this recording, but then we will have a team to cut them up into short form content and all of that.
Yep.
So it's us speaking, but we do not spend our own time doing that. So, but how do you do that? You need to make money first. So as you said, in the beginning, you probably need to do more. So rather have content that is not completely polished and look super, super professional in the beginning, but just good value content. And then you can start, when you outsource it, make it a higher quality. In the beginning, make sure you do the right content. It's more important that you use psychology, that you understand marketing, understand content. But then later on, when you're going into a scaling phase, of course, you want to have high quality content.
Yeah, and I also want to say that we do a lot of our content on our own. We have help, correct? But we also have friends that does 5 million a year that does their own content, because they also happen to love making their own content, and they're really, really good at it. So bottom line, you can't give away what you don't have.
Yeah.
So you need to build that skill for yourself first.
This is about sales. Should I book discovery calls with my leads, or should I focus on closing sales through direct messages? I think like this, it is a lot has to do here with what you believe. Because if you believe I cannot sell without speaking to people, then you will absolutely have sales calls. If you're just starting up, you need to have sales calls, because that is how you get to understand your avatar. So I would see the pattern that works best for most people is one thing, and that is get people on a sales call first and take like hundreds and hundreds of sales calls, so you understand your avatar in and out, the words they use, how they speak. Once you can do that, then you can actually start doing it in DMs. But it depends on what you believe about it. It depends on your level of authority, how good your offer is, how much you can actually do without having a chat with someone. Selling on sales calls, in my belief, it's way easier than selling in a DM, because you can control the frame, the narrative, the emotions. You can control everything that is happening for the other person. You cannot do that in a DM, which means You need to have a solid offer, and you need to have a lot of rapport, and you need to have the authority to be able to do that. That's my belief. You might have another belief.
No, I'm pro sales calls. Depending on how we're selling, I believe one of the most effective ways of being able to grow that trust is to work with one-to-many in a sales event. So when it comes to selling in the DMs, it absolutely has to do with beliefs. At the same time, sales call is so easy. Just book them in for a call. And it doesn't need to be a 45-minute call. It can literally be a 10-minute touch base.
And in the beginning, again, you will be the one doing the call until you know enough. And at some point, when you start scaling, you can give that away to someone else. So it's not you necessarily taking the call.
And if you give it away, then it doesn't make sense to not take the call, because it's easier to make that connection in a call than by a DM. I would say if it's an open goal, then of course close them. But 9 times out of 10, your business is going to benefit from a quick chat.
That's it. We got through with them. I hope this has been valuable.
Absolutely.
So if this has helped you, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and even ask us some questions. I'm curious, what would you like to know, so we can answer that in a future episode? Please follow our Instagram, follow us on Facebook, join our Facebook group if you want to have free resources and more free trainings.
Yeah, and of course, subscribe to this podcast so that you can get the release every Wednesday morning.
See you again.
See you.